From London, we're joined by national security expert Douglas Smith. Douglas, thanks for joining us. So despite this arrest, it sounds like the manhunt still very much on in the UK. Are you surprised by this after what happened in Manchester?
Unfortunately not. I think the United Kingdom has been struggling with this. This dates back many, many years. It really reached a fever pitch as they went into the London Olympics. The British intelligence services have been on this. They're working very, very hard, but they have a real challenge on their hands. I think they never let their foot off the gas coming after Manchester. But as we saw from this attack yesterday, it doesn't take much. One lone deranged man on a subway car can really wreak a lot of havoc and really put the country on fear. So I think they're doing everything they can. They're obviously working very closely with their networks back in the United States, overseas, trying to collaborate on information. But they have a big challenge on their hands. And I think the good news is that Prime Minister May, her former job was the Home Secretary, so she really understands a lot of what is needed, what is going on behind the scenes. But they're going to have to continue to really push on this hard.
Why is the terror level threat still a critical?
Obviously, I've not been, read into any breaking latest intelligence.
Yes.
But what I speculate is that, they're stumbled upon something. They've got a suspect in hand. They've been very careful. They haven't announced that they've arrested him, and formally charged him. They have him in custody, which tells me that they're on to, much like we saw coming after the attacks in Paris, and then they went to Belgium, that they probably have developed some very interesting leads and are trying to run those down very quickly, trying to not alert them that they're onto them, because they want to get them into custody before they take off running. But I think the important thing is they want the people of the streets of London and throughout the United Kingdom to be on high alert. As we'd like to say back in the United States, see something, say something. So a critical element of what they're doing is having the general public be on high alert, because that's just that many more eyeballs as they try to apprehend the culprits behind this.
How would you describe London's intelligence officials compared to the U.S.?
I think the UK is state of the art. I mean, they've been at this for a very, very long time. As a child, I lived in the United Kingdom during the height of the Northern Ireland bombings. So they are very astute. They are very well equipped. They have tremendous assets, both physical in the form of TV cameras all throughout the city of London, the United Kingdom. But they also have a tremendously sophisticated intelligence service. Scotland Yard works incredibly well, both internally and with MI6, their equivalent of the CIA, if you will, to run down threats. They work incredibly closely with the United States intelligence services, with the European Union, throughout the Middle East, et cetera. But they have a pressing threat, and they are at it all day long. But as I said at the top, all it takes is one individual, and that is the new model that we're seeing here. It's not an organized strike like we saw on 9/11. These are one-offs, and they're able to wreak just tremendous havoc. Right.
So you're saying all through the UK, the system is top-notch, not just in London.
Yeah, no. The British deserve a lot of credit. I mean, they work very, very hard at this, but it doesn't take much. If you think about it, look what this one individual did. They're able to do tremendous disruption. So the security services have to be right 100% of the time. Unfortunately, the terrorists only have to be right once. And that's what we saw yesterday and thankfully it was clearly it did not go off the way they had hoped. The device, it would appear, only sort of half exploded, if you will. And so we saw some injuries and a tremendous amount of fear, but thankfully it would appear no loss of life. But that is the challenge they face when you're trying to go after individual terrorists versus an organized army. It's a lot more challenging to knock them down.
Douglas Smith, thank you for that, joining us live from Nashville.